Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. For some of you, this might be your first webinar, and that's fine. Welcome. For those of you that it is your first webinar, can I draw your attention to the chat box? If you've got any questions or anything you need to look at, then please go and have a look and put your questions in the chat box, and that'll be fine. So thank you very much indeed for doing that. Okay then, so one of the things I want to discuss today, something that was very interesting that occurred today, was that I had to explain what this business was very, very quickly. And that occurred today. Now, for some of you, you're probably thinking, what's all that about? Well, I'm just about to show you now. Most people recognize what Google is, and what I'm going to do now is if I can get the Google, what I was Googling earlier on, just give me a second. And as you know, most people do use Google, and most people use it as a frame of reference. And it's important that we do understand that. And Saw's law is I can't get it up. Just bear with me a second. A bit like Blue Peter, I had one that I prepared earlier, but I can't seem to get it. But anyway, if you recall, when you do Google, when it comes up at the top, there's this advert. I'm going to persist for this and get it, but I'm not going to let the technology dictate when it doesn't work. All right, here we go. I'll just check this now. Some of it might look a bit funny, but here we go. Hopefully now you can see that in front of you, don't ask me why I was googling Kinky Boots, but what I like to point out is that the top three parts of this are in fact adverts, and the organic part of the Google search starts here. But could I also draw your attention to the right hand side? All down the right hand side, it's adverts. Now, as you're going to see later on, that this company is a revenue share advertising company, and what's important is that with this company, we share in the revenue, as we can see here. So the presentation this evening is about Traffic Monsoon, which, as I said, is a revenue sharing advertising company, which is very, very exciting. It's very exciting indeed, because as we'll see later on, that the whole business starts off with advertising. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we're actually part of that, and I'm really proud of that we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a Well, that was really good advice from Frank. But what I want to do is just recap again that Traffic Monsoon is a revenue sharing advertising company. Now, if you look here, this is Google's figures, and as you can see, obviously it splits out United States and the United Kingdom. But last quarter, that's in 3 months, they did $18.6 billion. So what the point I'm making here is that they're making an awful lot of money. If you look at how Google is going up, and also YouTube, which is also part of Google, and also Google Play, that accounted for 15% of the revenue. So the revenue is up. But if you look at something like, this is Facebook, you can see that's Facebook, these are Facebook results. But can you see that the majority of the money is actually coming from advertising? So people say to me, well, hang on, how on earth is Traffic Monsoon going to work? Because, advertising, does it really work? Well, these are Facebook's figures. And initially when Facebook was initiated by Mr. Zuckerberg, well, he got it so that he could chat up the birds basically and find out who was available, who wasn't. He didn't actually have any advertising, so it wasn't making any money. It had loads of traffic, but it wasn't making any money. It's only when he introduced advertising did it start to make money. So it's very important you get that. So for me, this is very, very important indeed. So what I'm going to do now is actually just go through this and just to clarify what we're not. So Traffic Monsoon is not an investment, because investments are things that you put in, like an ISA or something like that, and do nothing with it. This certainly isn't one of those. It isn't a money doubler, and it isn't a pyramid scheme, though we do operate in Egypt, so that's the only pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is something where essentially you have, well, if pyramid schemes are legal for a start, another name for a pyramid scheme is a Ponzi scheme. And this certainly isn't one of those, because A only operates on 2 levels, so there's no way is it a pyramid. But what we do have is a very, very good and superb track record. So what does that mean? Well, for those of you that know or not, that the way that the websites are ranked in the world is using an engine called Alexa.com. Now, Alexa.com is owned by Amazon, so you can imagine it's a great engine. What does that mean? Well, it contains a number of robots, and the robots actually go out and measure how accurate a website is in terms of traffic and how popular it is. So as you'll see, it's very, very important. So the lower the number of the lower the Alexa number, the better it is, and therefore the higher the ranking. It's a bit counterintuitive, but that's the fact. We've actually got over 2 million members and growing now. That's quite key. We've actually got over 2 million members, and we're in over 220 countries. Now, if you look here, Payzer, PayPal, and Solid Trust Pay, they are secure payment vehicles. I can tell you for a fact that before PayPal came on board, Charles, who's the CEO, who we're going to meet in a moment, actually took 6 months to actually get this on board with PayPal. We've actually got our own account manager now, so that's very important. The revenue share, this is the key thing. What you really need to get is that this is a revenue share company, and it's important you get that. Biggest question we get is, can I get the money out? Well, yes, you can get the money out in 5 seconds, and that goes straight into PayPal or Payzer or Solid Trust Pay, whichever payment vehicle that you have. And there are thousands and thousands of testimonials on our website. This is me. I started just 9 weeks and 3 days ago, and I started with 150 ad packs, and I have over 500 now. I have a team of 27, and 17 of which are active. This is my website here, Learn to Click and Earn. And when I started that website, it was 52 million. And since then, I've managed to go up to 12 million, which is quite good. And Pin, who came with us tonight, his website is now at 6 million in the world, which is something. Now, what does it mean when you get a higher ranking? It means you get more traffic and you get recognized by more people, such as Google, Bing, and all the other search engines as well. So this 45 minutes can actually change your income, and it certainly could change your life, that's for sure. Okay, so who are we? It's important that you do get, we are a revenue sharing advertising company, and It was started by Charles Scoville, who now actually lives in Manchester, would you believe, with his son. He's come over to the UK, and believe it or not, the UK has made a big impact on the world. And as you'll see, our growth has been huge. This is Charles. You probably won't recognise now. He's lost a bit of weight. I think working on the servers has burnt some calories for him, bless him. But really, the essence of the man is that he really did want to help and does want to help people earn an income from home. That's his main aim, and he's very passionate about doing that. Now, it is a fact that the majority of people actually work hard for the money, and only a minority, I would say 3%, actually makes money work for them. Now, when we often present this sort of opportunity to people, one of the key sort of things that come back is it sounds too good to be true. And the reason it sounds too good to be true, because we're actually being programmed to actually work hard for our money. Our schooling system, in fact, is based on the Prussian system, which is designed to have obedient factory workers, and that's why we have that mental view on working hard for our money. But on the internet, it doesn't. Now, I'll ask you a question. If you think of how people are going to make money, are they going to make it offline or online? Where's the money at the moment? Is it offline or is it online? That's a question you can answer. I think you'll probably find that the answer is, in fact, online. Okay, so we have meetings all around the country. I do Wolverhampton. I co-present Birmingham. But if you've got people that are around the UK, there are meetings that happen weekly. Please go to the meetings because you learn a lot. You mix with different people. There's also a Wembley one, which Anita does in London, and I would certainly recommend that as well. Very important you get that. And these are the countries that we're in. As I said, in terms of the pyramid scheme, clearly Egypt has got pyramids, but it's certainly not a pyramid scheme. Myself and Pin are looking at opening in the new year, Czech Republic, and other countries are coming on board. Germany coming on board, South Africa, Australia. There's going to be more countries. So if you want to know about what's happening in terms of events, please go to tmworldevents.com. That's tmworldevents.com. What we're going to cover quickly is the business, Alexa ranking, how we get paid, and unlike many other presentations, we'll look at our competitors. Now, what I like to, if you make a note of this website, it's trafficexchange.com, and I know that Frank mentioned it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look now and see if we can get that up. Give me a second. Just be in a second. Probably I'll see what's coming there. Here we go. Okay, so what's important about this is, as Frank says, that this is an independent site which rates traffic exchange companies. Very important that we're number one, and this is in the world. Now, a lot of people say, well, so what? Well, let me just draw your attention to this list as we go live. Can you see we're number one? But let's have a look how many other traffic exchange companies there are. As you can see, there's quite a few. Now, a question I was asked today is, well, if you're sort of in competition from Google, how do you differ from Google? Well, Google is a search engine. We're not a search engine, we're a traffic exchange. So we exchange traffic with other people. So people in our community get to view adverts and websites, and unlike Google that you search, so we're growing, and as you'll see later on. But can you see there's a number of traffic exchange websites, but what you've got to recognize is that we are in fact number one. So I hope you guys get that. Now, as I pointed out, hopefully you should have live the chat box in front of you. So if you do have any questions, then please feel free to type them in. That's not a problem. If you've got questions, please feel free to type them in, and that would be fantastic. Okay, so make a note of that website, which is trafficexchangelist.com. because, as I said, it's independent. So unlike Google, we are a traffic exchange company. And one of the key things is that we make money every hour of every day. We get paid every hour of every day. So we got paid at 7 o'clock, and we'll get paid at 8 o'clock as well. And when we sleep, well, provided you've done 10 clicks, you will make money, and that'll be quite prevalent later on. Now, a lot of people ask, what is traffic? Now, most people recognize that newspapers, the price of newspapers is around about 20p, 30p. It doesn't cover the cost of producing that newspaper. In fact, what newspapers need is readers. Now, more readers a newspaper has, the more that people will actually advertise on it, and therefore it's important that they have more readers. Well, it's no different from the internet world, because for readers read traffic. Traffic is just readers, if you like. That's the best comparison. Now, the more companies would advertise, the more readers or traffic that we have, and that's absolutely true. So more advertising revenue would be generated, and more profit would be generated. So the more we get that, the better. We pay for papers and get nothing back looking at adverts. I mean, my question to you would be is, when was the last time you got paid for reading a newspaper advertisement? Well, the answer is you never have been, and neither have I. That apparently Pin says that's me when I was a child. It's not fair, and I certainly believe it's not fair. So, would you like to share in the advertising profits? And most people would. I mean, would you? That's the question I'm asking you. Would you like to share in the advertising profits? This is what we can offer. What I'll do now is just have a look at this and see. I'll move it back a little bit. Have a look at this now and see what you think. Have a look at all these different things and go from 1 to 9 up and down and see. Just have a look at each bit now. Okay, so first of all, I'll draw attention to an ad pack. Now, if you really want to grow your business, you need to understand what all these bits are. But I'll draw your attention to, first of all, the ad packs. Of all the services that we've got here, what I will say is that there are nine services, but only one of them is a sharing one. So the advertising packs are the only one where you can actually get a sharing position. Now, Frank talked about ad packs. That's what they call them, advertising packs. Now, the fact is, this is the only product in the portfolio of products that you can share. Now, login pages. Login pages are a bit like a front page of a newspaper. Now, those of you who have already got an account, when you log in, you'll see the front page. Now, that page will get, at the moment, between 3 and 4 million views per day. Now, it will surprise you to know that to get that, that's about 30 quid. Sorry, it's actually 20 quid, it's $35. I've bought one of these pages, and the earliest I could get was the 1st of March 2018. Now, they're already booked and prepaid until that date, so they're very, very popular. Cash links. Now, one of the questions I was asked is, can you start this business with nothing? Well, yes, you can. And cash links are very important in that. Banner traffic, you need to know what that is, because most competitors, including Google, have banners. So you do need to know that. So, as I said, there are 9 component parts to this, and we're a one-stop shop. Everything that Google offers, we offer. And it's very key, all these different components. So it's very important that you do recognize that. Okay, now, who else needs traffic? Now, You may know some of these companies, you may not know them. I mean, you may not know Payzer, but Payzer is in fact a secure payment vehicle, and you can become an affiliate of this. Now, what is very important is, for instance, if you go to clickbank.com, most people say to me, well, do you know what, when I look at Traffic Monsoon, it really is about promoting websites, and you have the opportunity to promote a minimum of 15 websites. And every time you get a banner, and that will be made quite clear later on, every time you get a banner, you can promote that website, because a banner will then click onto a website. Well, the key thing is, most people say to me, do you know what, I haven't got a website, I haven't got a business, I'm an individual, I haven't got a website. That's okay. Well, what you do is, if you go to clickbank.com, that's clickbank.com, and sign in and get a free account, that has a number of different websites that you can promote. And the internet works on 1%. That is, 1% of traffic will generate sales. So if you can send multiple traffic, then that means you're going to get multiple sales. So hopefully that's clear to everybody. Okay. So who else needs traffic? Well, believe it or not, Amazon still need traffic. They need it, and eBay. So these two main selling vehicles, they do need traffic. Now, believe it or not, you do. You actually do need traffic. Why? Because in America, in every 12 seconds, a new home business is born. Now, this is a $427 billion industry. So every 12 seconds, so when I've been talking, after 12 seconds, a new home-based business is born. Now, my question to you is that home-based business going to be offline or online? Well, even if it's offline, the probability is it will have an online presence, because, well, in America, the reason I mention about America is they're ahead of us. They're ahead of us in terms of the internet. The internet was born in America. In fact, it was the Department of Defense that decided they wanted to glue all the computers together. And so it was we've got the US government to thank for that. But the thing is, there are, every 12 seconds, a new business is born. Now, they need traffic. They need people to look at their proposition. Now, the thing is with this, this is an amazing opportunity. Now, those of you that live in the UK will think, well, why do we care what happens in America? Well, this is happening. This trend is happening in the United Kingdom as well. In the United States of America, of those people employed that were surveyed, 70% would say they would prefer to be employed, self-employed, rather than employed. Now, given the current climate, you could probably see why that is the case. So this slide is probably the most important one in the set, because it shows the opportunity for growth just in home businesses alone. And if you consider how many home businesses are opening in the UK, what we offer, and I quote, is gold dust. Now, this is a number of internet business people I've spoken to, and they've actually told me that this is gold dust. And having worked in the industry, in the internet industry, since 2010, I can assure you that this opportunity in front of you is gold dust. So you need to understand the fact that there is a huge demand for what we've got. Okay, so there's a huge demand for what we got. Now, just to context this, internet ad spend is to reach 121 billion in 2014. It's actually going to go up. Can you see in 2015, if you add all these up, that's 6 and 6, so that's 124. You add that up as well. So that's what we're looking for in 2015. But look, it's going to go up. Can you see this? By almost $10 billion on each sector. So it's, internet ad spend is predicted to go up given what's happened in the past. And it's very important that we recognize that this is a very big industry, and it's the industry that we're in. Biggest question I get is, oh, do you know what, this sounds like a bubble, it sounds like a bubble, how on earth can it survive? How can you, if you're clicking 10 ads a day, how on earth can it survive? Because it's bound to burst, isn't it? Now, some people think of it as a national grid. The national grid that we get our power from. Let's just say that more and more people connect onto the grid without a power station going on. So let's say the consumption of the national grid tripled. Let's say there's a big match on, or there's a soap on or something, and everybody goes to board the kettle, and there's a few faults with the power stations. What would happen is, as the demand increases, and it's been remarked upon now that in the United Kingdom we don't have the capacity for the peak, so they're quite worried. They're quite worried during the Rugby World Cup that actually the national grid would fall over. But anyway, let's imagine now that one of the power stations was down and the demand was high. What would happen is all the lights in the UK would go dim because there are more people drawing out than can actually be supplied by the grid. Well, if I use that parallel for traffic monsoon, there's no way that will happen, because if you like, the power station is the purchase services. 95% of people that purchase the services, remember there are 9, 95% of them aren't going to be bothered to click on adverts, 10 adverts a day. They're not. People in the pay-per-click industry make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% return on their investment in terms of the investment on their advertising. And they just make money on advertising. They don't need to come into this. So their purchases, their purchase services generate a huge profit. And so therefore there's no need for them. Now, only 5% of members actually can be bothered to purchase advertising packs and get involved in the revenue share. Can you see how this works? Now, if this was the other way around, clearly, and I agree with everybody, if there were more people buying ad packs and very, very few people buying purchase services, then this wouldn't work at all. But I can assure you, the majority of people get money just from the adverts. When you think about it, if you pick up a newspaper, if you look online, you'll see adverts. Now, it is not feasible for companies to carry on advertising and spending money on advertising if it wasn't making them money. Do you get that? Do you get that? It's very important you get this point. This is another important slide to recognize how important this is. So, yeah, it's exciting as well. Okay. Now, this is Alexa ranking. Now, we started at almost 250,000. I mean, that's huge. If you look, the usual suspects, Google, Facebook, and YouTube. But now look, after 3 months, we've risen to 14,000. And now we're around about 881. But my point is, if you look at the growth, it's exponential, the growth. And the reason is because it's popular. Now, most people know this guy and they want to shoot him probably every time they see him, but it works. He annoys people and people remember him. Now look at that, they're 23,000. Now look at their graph, it's up and down. It's not exponential like ours. So it's important we know that. Now, if you look at this, these are our competitors. Go look them up. They're on that traffic exchange list. This company's paid out 13 million since 2007, and this one pays out 100,000 a day. Now, Traffic Monsoon pays out $300,000 a day to its members. So, do you get that? I mean, that's huge. This industry is a huge industry, and we're number 1, which I'm really proud about. So we're number 1. Now, this is a business in a box. Now, Charles did a thing called cash links. Why cash links important? Well, for places like Africa and the Philippines that don't have money, they can open up a free account and they can just click on these cash links. Now, let's say that you started with nothing, and that's fine. And let's say you had 100 people that you've introduced. If they just clicked on this 2-cent box, if they clicked on that, you'd earn $2. So can you see, you get paid and so do the people below you. So you can actually start with nothing and start earning money with this. So very powerful. Second one is the revenue share, $55. You get that per ad pack. So an ad pack is $50. And after 55 days, you'll get $55, which is brilliant. Don't like the word recruitment because that's, for me, that's just sharing, but you don't have to share if you don't want to. You don't have to tell people about it. There's no requirement to do that. And you can refer it to family and friends and then 10% of what they get. But also you can earn 10% commission by referring businesses to purchase the services. And I can assure you, our services are really, really good. Now, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, then just say yes and learn it later, because it's free to join, so why not? Charles isn't interested in charging anybody. I mean, he could charge £20, he could charge £50, £100 a month. Most people would actually pay that, but he's not interested in that. That's not what motivates him. That's not what drives him. The thing is, it's free to join. There are no startup costs, unlike a lot of our competitors where you've got to buy packs for lotions and potions. You know, a lot of the opportunities around at the moment, you're going to spend £200 or so to get in. Plus, you're going to have an automatic recurring thing every month, you know, so automatically. So there's no subscription, and you just join and start making a living. And that's what Charles wants. And he is a very, very humble guy that generally wants to help people. What do you need? Well, you need a Gmail and a PayPal account. A Gmail and a PayPal account, and you need an IP address, and I'll explain what that is. Mostly, a computer will have an IP address. It stands for Internet Protocol Address. It's built with an address on your house. That's our first client, Mr. Boone, and he opens up an account using his Wi-Fi, which is fair enough. But his brother is interested. He tries to do it as well. So he also attempts to open up an account, but unfortunately he'll get blocked. Why? Because you're only allowed to use one IP address. As well says, that doesn't matter, I've got a mobile phone. I'll connect to the Wi-Fi, not a problem. So he tries to log on with the Wi-Fi and he signs up and he gets blocked because it's the Wi-Fi has the same IP address. So what does that mean? Well, if you look at the computer that has on Wi-Fi that has an IP address, but let's say Mr. Bean, he goes out and he uses his mobile phone on 3G or 4G, and he logs into his account using that. Unlike a lot of our competitors, you're not allowed to use your phone, but we allow it. You can log on with that, and that's fine. Now, his brother also has a mobile phone, but he decides not to go onto the Wi-Fi, but to use his own 3 or 4G, and his brother connects onto it. His brother looks pretty like him, and it does work. So that's how that works. A rule that we have, husband and wife teams are not, I repeat, are not allowed to stack underneath each other. If you're a husband and wife team, then you need to connect with your sponsor. So if that was a husband, that was a wife, you have to connect on your sponsor. So stacking is not allowed. So that's not allowed. Now, my question to you is, how many people here have got Facebook? Most people, I guess. Now, what would it be like if you took a week off Facebook and just clicked on Traffic Monsoon? Chances are you'll make a lot of money. Well, here's Traffic Monsoon made simply. Now, it's getting near Christmas, and everybody knows. I was speaking to a guy from Sweden today, and he says, yes, we get the Coca-Cola advert with the Swedish Santa Claus saying he's drinking Coke. Well, everybody needs traffic. So what Charles said, I'll tell you what, I can help you with that. I'll do a site, a traffic exchange site. So Traffic Monsoon was born on the 10th of October 2014. Now members join and they are the traffic, you know, the 5% of those members. Now more traffic is created. Now they get a revenue share. Now members create an income and invite their families and friends. Of course they would. They get excited about it. The more members we have, generates more traffic, and therefore the higher we get up the Alexa rankings, and therefore the more people will join. So in reality, what happens is everybody wins, which is great. Now the PPC, the pay-per-click industry, is massive. These are people that are underground. I know a guy personally that makes $1.5 million per month just in this industry, referring traffic, paid traffic, not to his own sites, to other people's sites. He's an affiliate marketer and he makes $1.5 million a month using this technology. And they use a high-performing landing page and they check everything. Now, if you don't know what a landing page is, it doesn't really matter. But all I say is it does make a lot of money. Now, these are the cash links. So if you click on these, you'll in turn set 2 cents. If you click on that one, you'll earn a cent. So actually, you can start and earn for nothing. So what happens is once you open up a free account, you've done your clicks. You have to do 20 clicks actually per click. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, but you only need to do one. But essentially here, if you click on any one of these, you'll earn what it says here. Now, I'm not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination by clicking these you'll earn this amount of money. Now, if you look at this, I think this is in his account. You can earn a lot of money, and there's different strategies. Can I say PayPal, Payzer, and Solid Trust both have the ability to transfer the money to your bank account, and they all have the ability for you to have a debit card or a credit card. Very important. Now, this is the biggest question. What is an ad pack? Well, an ad pack costs $50, and provided you serve 10 sites a day, you'll get a revenue sharing position, which means you're sharing the profits. What does that mean? Well, in 55 days, for your $50, you'll have $55 back. 50 in, 55 out. You also get 20 pay-per-click banner credits and 1,000 traffic exchange credits. Well, that means 1,000 people will be looking at your site through Traffic Monsoon and some of the other companies such as ClickSense, NeoBucks, and other companies as well. Now, most people who look at that don't get it. Well, this is a simplistic form. Now, here's a new member. This could be you. Opens up a shop. Now, you can advertise Traffic Monsoon or your business in the shop. So you buy an ad pack, which costs $50, and then you put an A-board outside and people will walk in. In fact, this is a banner, and you'll get 20 banner credits on it. Then you also get 1,000 visitors to your shop. That's what you get in the ad pack. So a banner, which 20 people walk in, and this will allow 1,000 people to walk in. Now, using the internet logic, 10 people will actually buy using that logic. So each pack allows you to share with the profits of the company, provided you do look at 10 adverts a day. So that's a revenue share component. So the other thing as well is that obviously you agree to look at 10 adverts. So basically it's like going to somebody else's shop, and you do that within 24 hours. So hopefully that will explain what an ad pack is. Now, these are what people buy. They buy all these services. So an ad pack is like a bucket. So when the people buy the services, the money goes into your bucket. Then they buy website stuff, cache links, banners, text ads, and massive traffic. It all goes. And then what happens is at $55, the ad pack expires, but you've been paid out $55, not a problem. So the revenue is shared, and what you do is you buy another bucket. Now, this is an example. If you buy, I'm not saying you go and do that, but if you buy 100 ad packs, it'll cost you $5,000. Doesn't include the processor fees, but it's just for illustration purposes only. So 100 packs will generate $100 a day. Now, a simple rule of thumb, an ad pack will generate $1 per day. So what do you do with this? Well, with $100, you can buy 2 ad packs. So the very next day, you've got $102 because you've got 102 ad packs. And then you purchase it again, another 2, and it goes on and on like this. Now, there is a site. Now, if you get in communication with me, I will show you a site which will calculate all this for you and show you actually after 127 days of repurchasing, it will blow your mind. In addition, you'll get all these clicks. So there's 2,000 per ad pack that you purchase, and that can also generate your cash. So what do you need to do? It takes 5 minutes a day. Now, believe it or not, most people say they haven't got time to do this. Rubbish. If you can spare 5 minutes a day, do it before you go to bed at night, and then do it when you get up in the morning. It just takes 5 minutes. You click on 10 ads, that's it. Click on that red button. That's all you need to do. Simples. Now, bear in mind that there are banner ads everywhere. If you go to Yahoo, if you click on that, that's an advert, that's an advert, that's an ad. All these are adverts. You click on them, you don't get paid. But if you click on Monsoon, you will. Now, look at this. This was Imi's account. Now, this was only a few days after Traffic Monsoon was born. It was born on the 10th of October 2014, and already it made $633. Now, all you need to do is if you click on there, that's withdraw. So that money there is in a till. You click on that and it will withdraw, and it will go into your PayPal account. And when you click on that, it will go in there, and it takes 5 seconds. Okay. So what you can do, you can share it. Now, bear in mind, this isn't an MLM company because it's only one tier. We're not an MLM company. But if you share this with other people, then you'll get 10% of the purchases they make every day of the year, basically. Now, in month 1, if you've got 5 people you've shared this with, and they buy 1 ad pack a day, that's $25 a day, then basically in a year you'll earn 5,500. Now, let's just say in month 6 you've got 30 people. 30 people, okay? And that's more than possible because Ryan, bless him, he's been doing it for 19 weeks, 20 weeks, and he has 127 active, so he's doing quite well. If they buy 1 ad pack a day, you'll be making £32,000 a year. Now that's not you buying ad packs, that's just 30 people that you've shared this with buying 1 ad pack a day. You'll earn £32,000 or $54,000. This is amazing. If you get this, you'll bite the person that introduced you's hand off. And look at this. If somebody buys 10 ad packs, what happens is you immediately get $50. 10 ad packs in 5 days will mean that you'll get a residual income of $5 every 5 days. Now, if somebody buys 100 ad packs, what happens is immediately in that cash withdrawal bit, you'll earn $500 and you'll earn $10 a day because they can buy 2 ad packs a day, and they will. But if somebody buys 1,000 packs, immediately you get $5,000 and you get $100 a day. And can you see how this is a lump sum plus residual income? Very, very powerful. Now, if you get stuck, can I say you can go to this website, which is trafficmonsoon.guru. That will explain many, many things that I've explained to you. So if you need to get started or you're not sure, just go to Traffic Monsoon Guru and that will help. Okay, just to recap, advertising and traffic is the industry we're in. It's simple. We're in the same industry as Google, but we're not like Google because Google's a search engine. We're a traffic exchange, but unlike Google, we share the money. As I said, last quarter, Google made $18.6 billion, and none of us got paid on that. You don't need to be a computer expert. Ryan used to build walls. He was a brickie and has been a brickie since he did his apprenticeship. He isn't a computer genius, but he now, essentially at 28 years old, is retired. Setting up the account is simple. It just takes 5 minutes. You're not required to recruit, and you're not required to sell anything. There will never, ever be any fees to Traffic Monsoon. If you share this, your business will grow faster, but you don't have to. And this is your business. So the more you put in, the more you put out. And like any business, if you put nothing in, guess what? You'll get nothing out. I don't know a business on the planet that's like that. Now, in addition, I mean, there's Anita and there's Pin. That's Poonam. These are the people from UNICEF. In 3 days, £32,425 was raised. So what I hear you say, well, that makes a huge difference. That means that 750,000 kids get a vaccination and they get to live. And for me, that's key. And it's not just about the money, it's what we can do to make a difference in the world. So if you have any questions, obviously, please type them in. Or those of you who got my mobile number can actually text me questions. Okay, the main difference between Google and Traffic Monsoon. Well, the main difference is that we both deal in traffic. The difference is in fact that Google is a search engine, so people go out to look for things. And one of the questions I was asked today was, well, how many people will actually find the adverts? Well, as I said, there are 2 million members, and that's going up by 23,000 a day. 23,000 people a day are joining this. Now, what happens is that they're required, if they're in the revenue share part, to look at 10 adverts a day. Now, I've actually bought off some of these adverts. Some of these adverts are really good. So that's the difference. We exchange our traffic with other vendors, other traffic exchange companies. Remember I showed you that. But it does get results. Why would you use Traffic Monsoon versus Google? If anybody's trying to advertise on Google, it's hard. Your website has to be compliant. They can slap you. It's expensive because the big boys and girls use it. it's also true on Facebook. You know, Facebook advertising is expensive because likes of McDonald's and BMW and the like, they've raised the prices up. Now, this, if you can get half a million visitors for $600, or you can get, I mean, I did geo-targeted for a guy yesterday. He got 500 visitors from London to London, and it cost him $10, which is £8. So that's 500 visitors for £8. So, you know, the simples. Okay, now that's it. So unless you've got any other questions, I'm just checking now. We'll call it a day. Oh, hang on a second, I've got one here coming through. The question is, do I have to buy ad packs? The simple answer is yes. To make money in this, you do need to buy ad packs. But the question is, how do you fund it? Well, you could choose to fund it from money that you have. I wouldn't bet the ranch on it though. You know, what I would do is, you know, it's your business. I would, you know, it's up to you what you put into it. But certainly do purchase ad packs. So you know, so for instance, if you purchase 20 ad packs, you know you're going to get $20 a day. And that it's a legitimate business expense because you're buying advertising. And I will be doing training webinars which will show you how to populate your websites and how to get affiliate links that will actually make you money in addition to that. But the best way is actually to purchase ad packs, and ad packs will generate you cash. Now, the next best thing to do is actually to share the business. And if you share the business, as I showed you before, that will make you a lot of money. It'll make you $5 for every ad pack that your person you referred to will buy. Now, will they buy ad packs? Yes, they will. Because once they see they're getting benefit from it, they're getting traffic, but they're also getting revenue from what they've purchased, they'll continually buy ad packs. And you know, I would say that probably a quarter of my revenue has been from referrals. As I said, I've just started 9 weeks ago, and you know, a quarter of my revenue comes from referral traffic with people we purchase. So simple question is, yes, to make money you really do need ad packs, but the real question is, how do you fund it? If you've got money, then I would say, you know, by all means purchase the advertising, and the more that you have, obviously the more that you'll receive in the day. But you know, Sharon, who has been in this business now over 12 months, she runs the event in Liverpool. Now, Sharon started with nothing. She had, I mean, she was selling a house. She was going to put £1,000 in it, and she said, "Do you know what? I haven't got £1,000 because it was around about this time. It was around about October, November. Christmas was coming. She was going to put 1,000, but anyway, she shared it, and she shared, and she shared. Basically, people bought ad packs, and she got commissions, and all of a sudden, she got $50, and she thought, "Oh, well, I might as well buy an ad pack with that." And then she was getting referral commissions, and then she said, "Oh, perhaps I'll do it in the new year." Now, what happens is now, Sharon won't mind me telling you, but she earns over $7,000 per day, and she's got a big team. Ryan won't mind me telling you that he's got a team of 117. He's got over 200 people in his team, but I think it's about 117, 118 are active, but he earns over $1,000 a day. So he went to his bank manager to open up a bank account, and his bank manager said, "Hey, you know, we've got a business plan." He said, "No." And basically that he wasn't sure how much he was going to earn because he was earning $1,000 a day. And anyway, his bank manager signed up under him. And when Ryan actually quit his job 2 weeks ago, his boss, who was a multi-millionaire, actually decided that to offer him more money, but there was not enough money that he could offer Ryan, bless him. So he resigned. But his boss said, "Actually, I wouldn't mind coming underneath you," and actually he's quite interested in it. So thank you very much indeed for attending. I really do appreciate that. Those of you that have my number, obviously you can text. If you go to the site Learn to Click and Earn, if you've got any other ongoing questions, you can go to that. I'll just get that up for you. Certainly get that. I'll just go back. What I'll do is I'll give that up as a passing. There you go. I'll leave you with that. So if you've got any questions, you can go to learntoclickandearn.com and put your questions in that box. You can, if you're on Skype, you can friend request me on HypnoNick and ask me questions on that, or you can, that's my mobile, you can text me or call me. I prefer a text, to be honest, because I'm getting quite busy now. Or you can email me on careers@learntoclickandearn.com. Any one of those will do. Okay then, so thank you very much indeed for attending, and welcome to a business that will change your life. So on that note, have a good evening and good night.